Four. My husband's an Army officer. He's been deployed for almost a year to a place that I bet none of y'all would step foot in if someone offered you $1 million.
Oh, she can be a little spicy. A North Texas military wife getting a lot of support online for sharing the ups and the downs of life with 4 kids and a husband serving overseas. She is known on Instagram as Melissa in Chaos, aka Melissa Hammerly. Thank you for being here.
Oh gosh, thank you for inviting me and giving me a real microphone that's plugged in.
It's funny, a lot of times she'll get in her vehicle as she's just like sharing the news of the day and what's going on in her life, and she'll drop the microphone.
It's a fluster. You'd think at this point I'd have a team to do it for me, but I guess you got to wait a little bit longer.
I have to say, you have 4 kids. They are super busy.
Yeah.
Your husband, he's in the Army Reserves.
He is active duty in the National Guard.
In the National Guard.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Army National Guard.
He got deployed.
Yes.
Before the war started.
Correct.
So when did he leave?
So he left last summer in the May timeframe.
Okay.
Yes. So he has been gone for over 300 days. And so I think there's a big misconception that we only deploy our military during times of world chaos, but that's not true. They deploy all year round to different places in the world. And he was already in the Middle East at the time that this and then, it just changes their mission.
So it's been extended.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of families are experiencing. So he was extended before this all happened. So we kind of already were preparing for that. But there's a lot of families right now who weren't prepared for that. And now their soldiers are stuck there until they can kind of figure out what's next.
Yeah. They can figure out what's next.
Yeah.
You share the highs, the lows, the laughter.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting the other day. You didn't sugarcoat it. You're like, well, something my husband normally would do would be to put the windshield wiper fluid in the car. But you know what? Here we go.
Here we are.
Here is Melissa trying to figure out how to do the windshield wiper. But it's stuff you don't realize that they have helped with.
Yes.
And now you're like, I got to figure all this out on my own. And it could be something as little as that, but it turns into something big because you're like, my favorite's when you go over to the hood of the car and you're like, I don't even know how to open this hood.
No clue. Not a clue. And that's not because I'm like incapable, but for sure my husband just kind of takes care of those things for me, and I've figured it out. And I think that's part of being a military spouse, is you do in fact just figure it out.
Exactly.
And I've been thrown into all sorts of situations in the last year that especially having older kids, it's different. The last time he was gone, our kids were really young.
Oh.
But having older kids and just trying to navigate a household with them. But, now I know where the air filters are in our house.
There you go.
I for sure can put windshield wiper fluid in my own car, which is a huge win. Everything breaks. It's Murphy's Law at its finest. Every appliance has broken in our house since he's left. I joke that I'm not DIY Melissa because I watch YouTube and I'm like, I can do that. I can do that. I'm a confident, educated woman. So there's lots of projects that are, 12% done because I bit off more than I can chew.
Which is everyone, right? Yeah. But I do have to say, your strength is amazing.
Yeah,
you laugh at a lot of things, which is fun. You do some fun things. Let's show you and your son having a little lip syncing fun. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. You got a fast car. I want to get anywhere. Any place is better.
He's the star in our
He's the star in your house. That's Preston, right?
That is Preston.
Okay.
That's our youngest. He's our most feral child. But we were scrolling through videos just kind of. And if you say those words, if you say you got a fast car, he instantly will go beep, beep.
Yeah.
Skirt, skirt. And he saw that video, and, my daughter and I make a lot of videos together.
Right.
And he was like, come on, Mom, go get the stand. I was like, the stand? He was like, go get the stand.
Let's do it.
And we watched it. I realized that obviously kids are sponges and soak in everything, but he's watched us do this so many times that he then was like, let's go make our video. So it was really fun. Kane Brown saw it, and it was awesome.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Well, you said picked up any hobbies during your husband's deployment, but this is one of the things that, it's just the time with the kids, I think, that you spend that's so sweet. And let's talk about your daughter too.
Oh my gosh.
Because she has raised more than $100,000.
Yes.
She has basically has a following on her own.
Yes.
It is, what is it? Heart
Hart and Harper.
Hart and Harper. So it's like Hart.and.Harper.
Yes.
She basically had a mission to bring kindness and inclusion back to the world.
Yeah.
And she's doing it.
She is. She's walking the walk. She's an incredible kid. I'm so glad that you asked about her because she's the true star in our house. But so she was several years ago when she was 9, a little bit before that, she started making bracelets, and she said, "Mom, I want to sell them and raise money for, kids like Parker." And we thought she'd make a couple of bracelets and move on with her life.
Parker,
Yes,
your oldest son,
Yeah.
has autism.
he does.
So not only are you dealing with 4 kids, you're dealing with some kids with some challenges too.
100%,
So
yeah.
your daughter wanted
Yep.
to raise money
Yeah,
to
she just noticed that
help
he was
her-
being, for sure,
him, yeah.
that he was bullied pretty heavily in school. He still does face that a lot, and she just couldn't understand why kids were so mean. And so she just thought if she could change perspective and she could be the change that she wanted to see, that that would start to change. And so she started selling bracelets to begin with. Shout out to what I call the 7FC, the 7 Friends Circle, which is like my community online. And they started buying them off of a Google Doc. And one thing has led to another. And now she has an entire shop of T-shirts and bracelets and hats. She manufactures her own pajama line. And
she packs them and ships them. I saw a video and I'm like, this has got to be mom doing
No,
this.
it's
And then
her.
I keep watching.
I
and I'm
help.
like, now this is what you're doing in the meantime, right?
Yeah.
You're just doing funny videos and
yeah.
stuff. But I mean, truly remarkable
Yeah,
at what
yeah.
she's been able to accomplish. You
Yes.
said something the other day, which I thought was so important for just everyone to hear.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, maybe negatively, will say, well, this is what you signed up for. Or they will say, there's all the support out there for military families.
Yeah.
Why don't you go and get some support? You mentioned that there's a lot of, active military who are
Yeah.
on bases,
Yes.
who are in communities where, everybody like you has been deployed. And so there's a lot more of a support system there. But there are so many of our men and women who are not on bases right
Yes.
now, who were doing some other job and now have been called up
Yeah.
to serve. And
Yeah.
now these husbands or wives or other, look at this cute picture. Like now they're trying to figure life out without their significant other.
Yeah, I think that there's, first of all, my dad flew F-16s. My brother's a Marine. Matt serves. We're an active duty family to its core. But I think what people don't understand is that a lot of our service members that are deployed right now are Army National Guard, Air National Guard, or in the reserves. And so that is typically a part-time job. There are lots of active duty people who serve in the reserves and the Guard, which I know confuses people, but there are a lot of part-time people who are serving right now overseas, who are deployed, and their families back at home do not have that typical support because they're not near a base. And so you could be in the Guard in Texas, but be from Colorado and be traveling. And so that community and those typical support systems that are built in for an active duty situation aren't in existence. And so that's why I think part of what I'm trying to rally a little bit is that community support is vital all of the time, but especially right now for our Guard and our Reserves family, that this isn't their typical life. This isn't their Monday through Friday, twice on Saturdays and 3 times on Sundays.
Right.
This is a part-time job that they do because they love service.
That's now full-time.
That's now full-time.
That's now 300 and however many days your husband's in it, right? What's his full-time job?
So Matt is full-time in the Army.
He's full-time Army, okay.
This is his everyday job, but he does the everyday job in the National Guard, which is confusing to people. So there are active duty roles in the reserves and the National Guard.
But there are some people who have a full-time job, at a business, and now
100%.
they've been called up, and now they're
And so
there.
when I talk about the lack of support or one of the references, well, that's what the other Army spouses or military wives or your community are supposed to do for you. And I don't disagree with that. I think that that's very alive and well in active duty circumstances, but we've got to think about the spouses and the families, and not just the spouses, the moms, the sisters, the brothers, the cousins who all have loved ones and love this person that's serving overseas, but this isn't their typical life. This isn't normal for them. And these bases and their units are not in well-surrounded areas where that community can come together and serve each other in that same way.
Yeah, you took the kids on vacation to the beach.
Boy, did
and
I.
The photo, you even did like family photos, but
We
with
did.
you and the kids. And I thought, and to me, my heart just kind of sank because I was like, oh, he's not he's not there with them, but you're still trying to create normalcy.
I will tell you that that's probably one of the hardest things, that I've ever done, because there is a huge absence in those photos, and we feel it. But we also know that Matt does what he does so that we can continue to live a normal life. And there's a balance there. It's hard. And it's hard as a mom, especially as older kids who understand what's going on in the world and who feel that presence gone so much more. But it's important. It's important that we document this time in our life. It's important that we keep living the life that my husband and so many others are fighting to protect and defend, and to not stop in our tracks, but keep moving forward and keep living. And so I hope when they look back on those, they don't see what's missing. They see how much love was there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
my hope.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And I just also, especially for my daughter, I want her to know that you can be both. You can be a strong woman and a working woman and a strong wife and a good mother. And all of those things together make you who you are. You're not just one thing. And so, yes, I am an Army wife, and yes, I am a mom, but I do all of those things in conjunction together. And so it was hard. Candace, who's an incredible photographer, captured our family so beautifully. And she said to me at the end, she said, I can't wait to meet Matt next time. And I just was like, me too. And so we have something to look forward to.
Do you know when he'll come back? Any idea?
I don't. We had a little bit of an idea before of when he would get some leave time, a 2-week period of time in which we could see him before he had to go back. So that is on hold. And then additionally, there's a lot more questions than answers, but we're just holding on to our faith, and we're just so proud of him and who he is and what he stands for and what he believes in, and we're by his side 100%.
All right, keep up with the sarcasm.
Yeah.
Keep up with the diet Dr. Pepper as you
cheers.
cheers.
Cheers to the 7OC, and Dr. Pepper, call me up. I've been waiting.
She usually starts her videos cheering a diet Dr. Pepper, and then goes into what's going on.
Yeah.
So thank you for Matt's service. Thank him for us, and we hope he can get back home soon and hug those babies, because I know he's missing you all just as much as y'all are missing him.
We miss him so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. Again, it's Melissa in Chaos on Instagram. That's where you can follow her. And then your daughter's again?
It's Heart_Harper, and she donates 100% of her proceeds go back to serving others. So when you shop with her, you're really making a difference in someone else's life for her to bring back kindness and inclusion.
She's a difference maker.
She's incredible.
Love it.
Follow her before you follow me. How about that?
There you go.